and we're just getting set up. We're finally in a lobby. I was also just quickly checking the bracket to see if there were any notable updates. So far, no notable players have really been knocked out. It's just been the first round.
Or he's playing Azure, though.
Oh, exactly. There are a couple of really sick matches currently happening. Azure versus Oreo is a nice Australia versus Australia TVZ. Another sick PvP is Frustration versus Pez, which I'm sure is quite spicy.
Could be frustrating. And speaking of frustrating, we are on a map that few people know how to pronounce, but I will educate you people. It is pronounced Jacintha, like the Prime Minister of New Zealand. LE. LE, of course, standing for leg exercise. Leg exercise. Don't want to be skipping out on that one. In the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner map, we have the blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Malaysia. If I'm not wrong, he is from KL. Could be wrong on that one, but do let me know. He is going to be representing Mate Hexa. We have Ranger.
And spawning in at the top right-hand corner of Jaganatha LE, we have the Singaporean Protoss player, the red Protoss. Representing Downfall Gaming, it is Saiko.
Run, 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 run away.
Is that a song called Saiko?
Killer.
Oh. There you go.
Psycho killer.
Yeah. So basically we're going to find out here, is Ranger going to become the Psycho killer? Or
a psycho. Just a normal killer, but just, psycho.
Yeah, or Psycho a psycho killer. It's a bit confusing, but it works. It works.
A killer psycho. That's or a killer psycho.
There you go.
And before somebody says it's actually pronounced sickle.
No, not here. I'm actually pretty
not
sure.
In these parts.
I'm pretty sure that there is like a quote-unquote correct way to pronounce it, and it isn't Psycho. But you know what? That's what we're going with because it sounds cooler.
It does. And go into the soundtracks and whatnot. Give him his own intro music.
Exactly. And so far in this PvP, nothing too crazy. Of course, we do have a proxy pylon out on the map for Saiko, but nothing's really being used there currently. It's not really for any purpose other than having a pylon out on the map. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in PvP, you want to get as much map knowledge as you can probably get. So if you have the minerals to spare, you may as well just get one earlier on. Saiko, definitely not short on that particular resource. And we are starting to see that divergence now, Light. Saiko, you know, we've known him to be the Stargate player. Instead, he's going to go for the Robo. Meanwhile, Ranger can be showing Saiko how it's done.
Yeah, this is one of those things where we talk about it all the time, you know. In a PvP, one player goes Adepts, the other player goes Stalkers. It's like this unwritten rule. And at the same time, one player goes Stargate, the other goes Robo.
Can't explain that.
yeah, can't explain that. But this time they aren't, you know, Proxy Stargate versus Proxy Robo. Unfortunately, they are in their main bases, and yeah, we'll see how they shape up against each other.
Before they ship out. Okay. Not sure on that one. Saiko has been doing a real good job of denying the scouting information from Ranger. Meanwhile, that Haluk is somewhere around. Pylon does get scouted here for Ranger, and it is starting to go on down. And other than that, yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the action to happen, which should be fairly soon. Ranger, the Oracle is already on its way.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know. So the Adepts did kind of go down for nothing. They didn't get to shade in or scout anything in the main base of Saiko. But at the same time, Ranger was able to kill 2 pylons from Saiko. So it's like, you know, they're each getting a little bit of damage done.
Yeah, whatever you can get this early on is kind of a bonus. Ranger should be able to complete his scout here and probably get a couple of probes as well. I do not see the Stalkers in position. Oh, Ranger. Interesting. All right, so I'm thinking he kind of assumed that there would be anti-air there, so he just went for the stasis ward.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that would have been a prime location for some really good zapping.
100%. It's this weird situation where Ranger assumed there would either be like anti-air or a shield battery, right, to out-heal the DPS of the Oracle, so he went for the stasis, when really the mineral line was looking so vulnerable that he could have just gone in and just gone for worker kills.
And you know what? Normally, he'd be right.
Yeah, right?
But in this case, not quite. Saiko not really losing too much there. Only a sentry and a probe. Plus like another 2 in stasis, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, killing the sentry was pretty big. It's always huge to get a sentry with a decent amount of energy, and ooh, the shades actually make it in.
Yeah, they do, and this could be even more probes going down, and he is targeting them. Ranger is not going to be satisfied unless he gets 5 kills with these depths. He manages to get 6. Can he get to 7? Ooh. Shield battery finishing just in time, though.
Just in time, but still 6 probes for 2 adepts, plus that scouting information. Like, that was really well done by Ranger. Another thing, I don't know if you noticed, but Ranger, he scouted the robo opening, so he had his army and hallucination ready in his main, and he was like scouting for it, waiting for it, but the war prism was at home. It was just, I was confused as well, because I was looking for it. I'm like, where's the war prism? I saw it go out earlier. It was just chilling at home, and only just now moving out.
I think what happened was that Saiko wanted to go for a bit of an early push just to see what damage he could get done, but yeah, once he saw the Oracle come back, he decided to move back with everything he had.
Yeah. It was just really cool that like Ranger was anticipating the attack, because I'm like, you went for a robo opening. There should be a war prism. I'm here. Where is it? And you know, it's kind of like this weird mistiming or anti-timing where now the war prism is coming in, and Ranger, he's not prepared for it.
Well, Blink is going to be finishing up, so he may get caught a little bit with his pants down, but he should be able to buckle it once he's aware.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, another 2 adepts get into the main base of Saiko. 4 probes go down, but on the other side of the map, Saiko finally utilizes his War Prism and also gets into the main of Ranger.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of mineral walking here, just getting away with as many probes as he can, but will lose a little bit. This is a really nice blink forward. The War Prism will go down, and the adepts are trapped. No shades. We're gonna get out of there in time.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate for Saiko, because to get those 5 probe kills, he invested in that War Prism, he invested in that, you know, robo first opening, and I just kind of went down the drain, because Ranger, he was able to deal even more damage just by shading in normally.
Exactly, and meanwhile, he's just getting a 3rd Nexus behind us as well, so even more probes are going to be pumped out. The +1 attack has finished up for Ranger. We could be seeing a push come out pretty dang soon, but I am worried that he doesn't quite have the immortal count that, you know, he would perhaps want for that.
Yeah, definitely, as he still doesn't have any immortals. He's working on his immortal production now, and he does have Blink, to be fair, but, you know, that upgrade advantage is about to, you know, isn't going to be there anymore. As Saiko, he does have Blink on the way. He does have the higher immortal count. Defensively, I would favor him, especially with these shield batteries as well, so yeah, Saiko, I would be careful if I was Ranger. Like, I wouldn't just, like, dive in at the moment.
Which is why you just throwing out stasis wards left and right. You may as well. When your Oracle has that much energy, you don't know what to do with it. Where's the anti-air?
Wow.
Literally 1 volley away from losing that Oracle.
Even gets another probe here at the 3rd base location. He scouts it as well. He sees the 3rd base timing. He knows that he is so far ahead in the economy. And like, again, at the moment, I feel like Ranger, he still needs to work his way up when it comes to his army, because when you go up against a Protoss army that has that immortal advantage, like, you need so much more. Yeah,
something like Disruptors, maybe. As you do see that RoA coming out on the way.
Yeah.
Blink Disruptor, I mean, I don't want to say it's made a comeback, because it has been a little while, but it is definitely more popular now than it once was.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what can't blink?
Chameleons.
Can't they?
Maybe they do.
But you know what else can't blink? Immortals. So the Disruptor is going to be so good against this immortal heavy army from Saiko. Sure, Saiko can dodge the Disruptors with his Blink Stalkers, but like there's just so much here that can't.
A split for it.
Just split.
I do like that he is going to the dark side as well. You know, Archons are always a good unit to have, but in a PvP, DTs will have a little bit more, not autonomy, what's the word I'm thinking of? Utility than High Templar will.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. I don't think you ever see Storm in PvP? Question mark?
That's because there are so many chargelets out. Well, sometimes there are so many chargelets out, you don't know what you're storming. Are you storming your own army or your opponent's? And so you have your opponent, Saiko, once again going for this double War Prism strategy, which I'm honestly really liking, like.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love it as long as he's able to execute it well. I mean, we'll see if he's able to pull apart his opponent. I say that like one is utilized primarily for harassing the others to reinforce the main army, and yeah, we'll see how he fares against Ranger here.
Yeah, it can definitely be a very APM intensive unit composition, but if you have it to spare, you may as well go for it. It is insanely effective.
Yeah, we'll see if he does have it to spare, because Ranger, oh god, he's already ready for one of the War Prisms in the main.
That he is. They're starting to go down a little bit. I'm going off of audio once again here.
Yeah, and you know, we do have the DT harassing here at the 4th base as well, but again, it's just a single DT, and Saiko, he's forced back. I was expecting, like, he was posturing in the center of the map, and I was expecting like a multi-prong with like the War Prism and the main army, but yeah, instead he decides to go back home and you know, focus on expanding instead.
That was what I was expecting as well. Do you see that +3 here? Will be just about finishing up for Saiko. Oh, so that's finished already. I'm back.
Okay, welcome back.
And these Purification Novas are being sent out. Rangers are hitting a little bit better, but both of them are just being so cautious. The important thing, though, is that Ranger was able to snipe out the Disruptor's Saiko, so he can take a lot more risk with his own army and go in a lot deeper than Saiko can.
Yeah, it was actually really... Yeah, it was actually really impressive to see. Like, Ranger, he blinked forward, sniped the Disruptor of Saiko. Now he has none with his army. It's all in the hands of Ranger, and he's pushing Saiko back.
He does have to be a little bit careful, though. You know, Disruptors, they're almost like the Swarm hosts of Protoss, as once you finish shooting your shot, if you look at Ranger's army, he does not have a lot of, you know, backbone to it. Saiko still has the better Stalker count, the better Immortal count. So once he sort of blows the shot, there we go. All of the Immortals go down. And with that, Ranger having complete freedom, just push into this. He's still being a little bit, I would say, overly cautious, which you can't really blame him too much. That was some really nice sniping done by Saiko, taking out the Disruptor.
Yeah, exactly. Saiko, he's been able to reset, snipe every single Disruptor in the main army of Ranger, but at the cost of his 4th Nexus.
Yeah, and was it worth it in the end? Probably not.
Especially since Ranger has his own 4th, he's expanding, and oh my god, Saiko is getting a little bit like outmaneuvered.
That indeed he is. Beautiful flank come down here, and that Purification Nova will not hit as it gets sniped out just like that. Another Nova will be going forth, and Ranger takes game number 1.
Wow.
That was PvP.
GG, that was PvP. Ranger able to assert himself as the more dominant Protoss player in game number 1. And yeah, Saiko is gonna have to switch things up a little bit in game 2. Since it is a PvP, I kind of hope we see a little bit more aggression, a little bit more maybe even cheese at the beginning of the game. But yeah, Saiko, it did feel like he was kind of on the back foot for the majority of that game.
Definitely was. You just want to see a proxy Stargate now, don't you, Light?
I do.
I can tell.
And we'll see if we get it, as we are going to be loading into Romanticide.
Oh. Yeah, it's what I wanted to do something, but it's copyrighted.
Is there a Romanticide song?
Well, there's a song called Bad Romance, which is kind of like it.
Ah, okay. Okay, there we go. I was in the player slot, but it is fixed. We're here. We're ready. Races already.
You weren't gonna represent Saiko there?
I was gonna proxy Stargate.
Oh. Now you just have to upload yourself into his mind, possess him, and take over. It's kind of like Mio Micah giving up his body to this cat spirit.
Oh boy, yeah. Speaking of, I mean, Ranger, I do feel like he is very much so the Miyamika of Malaysia. In some respects, I would compare it just because of Ranger attempting to build the scene in Malaysia.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a while since we brought that up, but he is trying. You know, he has taken people like Ares under his wing.
Under his wing? Oh God.
Yeah, to help him practice and improve. And we can see like what Miyamike has been doing. It's really paid off, right? Like with things like Aodai, with things like Justice Simon and Thuk Lao qualifying yesterday as well.
Yeah, and similar to Vietnam, now Malaysia, there is a centralized sort of base for practice. Not just in StarCraft 2. I think Mobile Legends is also pretty huge there, but yeah, he is starting to grow that Malaysian esports scene. And speaking of the Malaysian esports scene, here we have the architect, if you will, one of them anyway, of that particular country's particular scene. He is spawning over here on Romanticide. LE, of course, standing for Lover's Envy, where in the bottom right corner, he is the blue Protoss coming out from the land of Malaysia. He is known to scout for talent. Haha. Representing Mate Hexa, we have Ranger.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Singaporean Protoss player representing Downfall Gaming. He's crazy. He is a Saiko.
So out of all the newer maps that we've sort of been getting, I feel like Romanticide may be one of the more forgettable ones. I want to say it's a map that we haven't seen a lot of, but I can't actually verify that.
I wish I could forget
like
it.
We have. Yeah, I feel like we have seen Romanticide a decent amount of times, but to me, there just haven't been that many memorable games on it.
I will say that Romanticide, at least yesterday, we saw it once. For the majority of the time, Romanticide was vetoed. It may just have to do with the amount of Protosses that we casted, question mark, or all the PVZs that we casted. I'm not entirely sure,
Maybe
but
it's because it's bad luck for your love life.
it's possible. I'm pretty sure the only time we saw this was in the best of fives. But yeah, we'll see. Like, it does have a lot to it. I do still feel like it is a little bit more Terran favored, but we don't have a lot of Terrans in the bracket at least, so I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, we've got Azure and Raza. Yeah, definitely two who you want to be looking out for if you are a Terran fan tonight. This morning.
This morning.
And 9 a.m.
And HUD as well, I think. I think he checked in.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I believe he took out Hero?
Yeah.
That we confused with the Liquid or CJ player. He took out Singapore Hero. And I believe he's just sort of waiting for his opponent.
Yeah. Funada HUD, by the way, he didn't, like, he was in the chat yesterday, but he didn't sign up for yesterday's qualifier. I was very disappointed. And also
Brisbane boys, man.
Yeah, and pleasantly surprised that he actually played today. I wasn't expecting it. I wish him the best.
Yeah, especially since I think it has been a while since we saw HUD. You know, your online tournaments and whatnot. I believe the last time we played did he even play in the Demi bi-weekly, now that I think about it?
No, he did not. I'm pretty sure the last time we saw him play was when he signed up for the ESL Dare Cup and he just won.
And he just won and said, all right, my time is up.
Yeah, he's like,
never touching this game again.
Yeah, he was like, all right, I'm gonna come back just so I can, manage to win one of these tournaments. And he wins the first one he signs up for. He's like, well, all right, time to retire.
Yep, again.
God damn it.
F in the chat over there for Hut's StarCraft 2 career. But having a little bit of revival today, so maybe no Fs, maybe just the opposite of Fs. Some pogs.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of, since we do have a little bit of downtime, it's a bit unfortunate. Like Peppy did so well yesterday. He was so close to qualifying. And if you are unaware and if you want to follow Peppy on social media, he did tweet out after the qualifier about like his, you know, what's going on like IRL, and you know, his disappointment in his play, and how like that's why he didn't sign up today. He's like, like, you know, I'm currently moving, so he kind of just doesn't have the time to commit, and it was like now or never, right? Like with yesterday's qualifier.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. Speaking of now and never, Rangers going in with so many adepts. I'm not convinced that Saiko, he has enough in terms of the army, in terms of DPS, but they are just not in the right position right now. Ranger not really focusing on the probes, just making sure he can get a nice scout out here, taking a lot of damage from this Oracle, which can actually be kind of a good thing if the Oracle actually makes it across the map. Won't have a lot of energy to kill probes.
I could be crazy.
Nice damage by Ranger there.
Yeah,
expensive damage, but nice.
I could be seeing things, but can Stalkers go through this Sim City? It looks like they were stuck.
They can. It's awkward, but they can get.
I don't think they can. Yeah. Probes can. And, yeah, I think the.
Hey, but isn't the hitbox of a Stalker the same of a probe?
Hold on, we'll find out.
Saiko's deciding.
He can't.
I don't think he can.
He can't. That's why.
I don't think he can.
That's why. Like when the shade happened, all the Stalkers were like stuck here in the choke point up the ramp. They can't. Like the Sim City is working against Saiko right now.
That's a Yaku curse and a half if I've ever seen one.
Oh my god, that's why, like, I don't think Ranger
thing, like, it's just not me.
Yeah,
it's not just me.
I don't think Ranger noticed, because if he had kept his adepts in the main, like, he would have been able to survive and deal even more damage because the Stalkers couldn't go there. But you know, things are slowing down a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but Ranger, his War Prism was caught out in the center of the map as well, so nicely done by Saiko, able to catch that.
Yeah, making use of those Stalkers that are sort of trapped outside of his main base. Get some nice little bit of damage done there. Both players just sort of setting up their, you know, their fort locations, their scouting pylons. Let's see what they're gonna get done. Saiko moving in with the Oracles. This is a Saiko I know and love.
Oh yeah,
Stargate boy.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we know him for, and even finding that reinforcing pylon in the center of the map as well with his Stalkers. So he's actually been able to find a lot of damage in the center of the map. Oh, but there are Stalkers here in position.
Yeah, and I mean, 2 Oracles can one-shot probes when there's a shield battery out, but do you want to tangle with that when there are also Stalkers that are looking to kill you?
Exactly. And so far, Saiko, he's done well defending his bases. Like, he has his Oracles out here to keep Ranger at home. He's got a Phoenix ready and waiting for a War Prism to come in. He's got his Stalkers all over the place looking for any kind of pylons. And yeah, he's kind of securing himself on this side of the map. We're just kind of waiting to see who's the first to expand and when he feels safe enough to take a third.
Well, I mean, these 2 players, they do play on the NA server, so I have a feeling they know better than to risk an expansion before they're 150% certain they can secure it.
Yeah, or sometimes they're not even interested, because Ranger, he's pushing out across the map. You know, he has his War Prism on the way, he's got a decent amount of Immortals as well, Sentries, and what does Saiko have to defend? He himself doesn't have any Immortals, he doesn't have a rowboat.
That said, he does have +1 and a shield battery. So it's definitely something that he'll have by the time this hits. Ranger's Blink does finish up here. There's a little bit of a window that he can sort of abuse that, or his upgrade advantage, but yeah, until then, it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna come down a lot more to positioning. Stasis Ward, absolutely huge. That cuts Saiko's army, or Ranger's army rather, completely in half, but cutting it in half is still equal to what Saiko's got right now, it seems.
Exactly, and because of all these force fields, it forces Saiko back. He can't engage. It's going to buy enough time for Ranger, for all of his Stalkers to get out of that stasis.
Yeah, Blink finished up right towards the end there, but I think Saiko just did not want to risk blinking into an Immortal like that. And with that, I feel like Ranger just going to be on his way to brute force this. Battery overcharge being pulled, and there is that +1 advantage right now for Saiko. Let's see what he can do. The concave is a little bit better for Ranger right now.
Oh my god, the overcharge runs out. He's pulling the voice. He's trying his best to hold here, but the warp prism, he's warping in more and more zealots as well.
Oh, Saiko's targeting it, and he does manage to take it out, but the warp in does finish up over here. And that's another pretty good stasis ward there, and the Immortal does get taken out. But Saiko, his army just completely cut in half like that. He is at about half the army supply of Ranger right now. It's still not looking too good. A lot of that supply are also in these oracles, which, I mean, once they run out of energy, what can it really get done?
Exactly, and in a couple of seconds, these units are going to get out of the stasis once again, and even if Saiko holds here, he's losing so many workers.
And it looks like he's gonna barely be able to hold here. He does have a decent amount of stalkers, and these are slow zealots, so they can just blink away and kite to their heart's content. But Ranger actually isn't giving this up. Ranger moving right on in. These zealots, even without charge, they are fearless.
Exactly, as we do see warp-ins across the map. Ranger is slowly reinforcing this army, and as you said, there's just so much here. There's too much here from Ranger. Saiko, again, because he pulled so many boys, he just doesn't have the economy, he doesn't have any money.
And there we have it. Ranger is going to be the one to take that series 2-0. And with that, the top player from Malaysia will be continuing to show why ASEAN Protoss rising.
GG. Of course, we talked about it before the series started. When two Southeast Asian Protosses enter, they collide, only one leaves, and that is Ranger. He is the Saiko killer.
Just and yeah, I do believe that means he's... Wait. Okay, so there are 3 qualifying rounds today. I believe this means that Ranger is already going to be going into a qualifier?
He is ready and waiting in that qualifying spot.
Nicely done there. Going to be facing off either Dark Void, Oreo, or Azure. And I got to tell you, like, those are all 3 of them tough players. None of them are Protoss, though.
That's, oh god, that's GG.
That's GG. Rangers qualified. Let's go.
Let's go.
And I tell you what, none of them are Protoss, and 2 of them aren't from ASEAN.
Exactly. It's just none of it's going for them, you know. It's over. But yeah, I mean, Oreo and Azure, they are still mid-series. Again, I'm not too sure on, you know, whether they're in game 2 or game 3. They are 2 of the Brisbane boys, and they go do toe-to-toe quite often. I can say that so far the game that they're in has been going on for 8 minutes, and if we can, we'll try and jump in mid-series. Otherwise, we may have a look at, you know, what's going on in the other sections of the bracket.
Yeah, I've got my eye right now on Razorblader versus Hut. That to be... Because when it comes to their approach to their respective races and how they want to play the game, they strike me as almost polar opposites. Razorblader, I could be wrong here, but he strikes me as a player who's very... I want to make sure that my strategies and my tactics are correct first, and then I'll sort of refine my style, whereas Hut is more of the, my mechanics are so good that I'm just going to do whatever I feel like this game.
He's, I think a nice way to put it is that Hut is an innovator, you know? He
is, he definitely is.
Yeah, he just does what he does, and, you know, it may not be meta, but regardless, he makes it work. It's really cool to see.